Welcome to the Nick and Matt Show. Bringing the player interviews you want to hear and the hot topics you want to discuss. Streaming live on the Foundation Podcast YouTube channel, here's Nick and Matt.
So you've had 33 wins, if I've counted correctly, in your FPO career. 33 wins, okay? There are some A tiers in there. There are some B tiers, C tiers. But since you went to FPO, 33 wins, and it looks like, as far as the wins are concerned, the A tier at Music City Open last year, would you consider that your biggest win, or do you feel like there's another one out there?
Yeah, I guess I'd say that's my biggest win. I did win the Silver Cup a few years ago, and I had to get past a lot of really good players for that as well. I think Madison Walker was there, maybe Jessica Weiss, perhaps Lisa Fakis. There was just a lot of really good Innova elite level players that I had to get through to capture that win. Music City, I had Callie and Katrina on my heels, but I felt like the Silver Cup a few years ago was a little bit closer. But, in my mind, they both hold a pretty high standard as far as the wins go.
Yeah. I think one thing for disc golf in general, not just the FPO, but it's slowly heading in the right direction. Obviously, the last few tournaments, you talked about Texas State, you had back-to-back your largest winnings ever at these past two events. So you can kind of see that disc golf hasn't always been the most cost-efficient thing as a touring player, and you can kind of see lately more endorsements are coming into the sport. We just had Tito's Vodka obviously dropping 10 grand in the FBO division. So do you personally, are you looking for endorsements from other companies? How are you managing, obviously, with kind of like touring as a professional disc golfer?
Yeah, well, when I started touring, my modeling income supplemented what it, cost to disc golf. I would seek outside sponsors with my knowledge as far as managing international models and setting them up with agencies around the world, setting them up with career paths, and then helping them get their finances straight. I sort of took that template over to disc golf, and I started reaching out to companies back in 2012 with my business plan and my career goals. And I said, if I have sponsorship levels set up and if you want to help me, I'd really be appreciative of it. And I started at all the companies I loved, things I used on a daily basis, skincare, hairspray, hair elastics, shirts, you just start from head to toe like you do in modeling. And I had a great response. So I've been doing that since I started. But as I've grown my skill set on the course, of course, I'm a little more selective of the sponsors now. I'm no longer working with people that only offer socks or t-shirts, because it sounds terrible, but socks and t-shirts don't pay my entry fees. And after like year 9 of being on tour, I feel like I am worth a little bit more than a t-shirt. No offense, anyone that's working for a t-shirt, that's just how it is in business. So luckily my sponsors have stepped up really big this year. I've got a lot of financial backing, as well as, I still do some modeling when I'm here in Wisconsin in the off season, in between disc golf tournaments. Since I'm on the road full time, that would more or less be in the August off season, because I don't really go home anymore unless it's close to D-Glow or Ledgestone or something. But yeah, it's just trying to make it work as you can. I've been really smart with my finances since I was probably a small child. Saving is my favorite thing ever. I'm extremely frugal. I try to tell everyone they need to save their money when you're young, because you'll need it when you're old. Encourage people to set up retirement accounts and not waste their money on petty, everyday things. I understand some things come from small purchases and that makes you happy, but what really makes you happy is being able to provide a nice home for yourself, reliable transportation, opportunities for you and your loved ones, which can come from financial independence and being smart with your money. So again, I'm just a very frugal person, and I think that sort of mindset has helped me be successful in life, as well as making it a little bit easier on tour. I'm not uh, waiting for my next win to put my next meal in my stomach.
Yep. Yep.
So that sort of mindset has helped me be, I think, less stress-free on tour, and I can play with just a clear heart and a clear head, and I don't have a lot of things floating around in the back of my mind that I might be worried about.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard, and it's probably through your social media. My son is also sponsored by Innova Disc, so like there's some connection there. But you throw, if correct me if I'm wrong, a bunch of lighter weight plastic. Is everything in that lightweight range? Tell us a little bit about why you choose the lighter weight plastic for some of your discs.
Yeah, that's a cute myth that's sort of been going around. And when I started in 2012, it's when I started playing disc golf. Innova just came out with the Blizzard Champion plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend gifted me the entire set of the Innova Champion Blizzard plastic. It was only maybe 6 discs at the time. So that's pretty much what my whole bag was. Blizzard plastic, which was between 130 and 150, I think. And that's what I learned with, man, so that's what I had. That was the tools in my tool bag. And I actually thought that I was a bad player. And I didn't realize until years later that I was just choosing improper equipment for the current courses and environment. I tried to play the Memorial with Blizzard plastic. I took my Blizzard plastic to Vegas.
Yeah.
Didn't go back for 8 years.
Yep.
And what I learned was 150s, no matter how much hyzer you put on it or how slow your arm speed is, they don't hold up in Memorial and Vegas winds.
Mm-hmm.
So as you mature as a player, you learn these things. You start to choose heavier discs, so now I choose the proper equipment when I go to Vegas. I go to the Memorial. I jumped out of my comfort zone this year on tour. I went down to Vegas again for the first time in 8 years. It was crazy. I didn't do that bad. I actually made the cut. I think the time I went before, I didn't make the cut or anything. So at least I made the cut this time. I didn't cash, but I did make the cut, which is an improvement. And I do love improvements. I also didn't choose poorly in my discs and have a bunch of lightweight stuff turn into rollers, which I was really proud of.
Yep.
So the disc selection was smart. It was just, my first event coming off the Wisconsin winter. I was a little bit off on my depth perception and my putting was a little rusty. So, I didn't perform my best, but making the cut was an accomplishment. And then I came to Texas, which I've avoided my entire career because I've heard it's really windy. And again, I didn't like to play in the wind.
Yeah.
So here I am in Texas having a great old time doing big things, making big money. And shoot, I'm going to come back. I love Texas. I'm so disappointed that I skipped it all these years. I'm just hard-headed, and a couple people said it's windy, you won't like it, and no thanks, I'm not going to the wind. But now I'm all about the Lone Star State, baby. I love it out here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would say obviously we can see your recent success, and you kind of elaborated on a little bit earlier of just being smarter with the decisions. But I think one thing this wintertime during the off season, you were posting YouTube videos on just your practicing, disc golf etiquette, stuff like that. Do you feel like because of the work you put into the off season, do you feel like a lot of that is translating to how you're playing now?
I always putt and work in the off season. I always have. So I would hope that the 9 years of me doing that has finally built up to where I can play better and place better. I play really well in practice. I have all the shots, all the skills. I don't have a long sidearm, but it's about 250, which is very usable. And I think it's really just finishing. I was having a little bit of anxiety around the camera people fidgeting in my peripherals. And, you start to blame other people and you don't take responsibility for that. Like, I missed those putts. It's definitely the cameraman. It wasn't me. But then you start to realize, like, you can't always blame somebody else for missing the putts. At some point, you got to say, you know what, that was a crappy putt. So yeah, I've kind of tried to hope that making the YouTube videos and doing some Facebook lives and sort of putting myself in front of the camera while I'm disc golfing can sort of ease my anxiety about that same situation. Because in my fashion career, I was in front of the camera all the time, and it's very normal. It doesn't have any effect on me. But when somebody is staring at me and judging me on my athletic ability, all of a sudden I get like tense and nervous. I'm not relaxed anymore. And it's annoying to me. I wish that would just go away already. So I think that I've sort of eased into the camera people a little bit. Plus, I think getting to know the camera people on tour, you know, like saying hello to them and not just like, oh gosh, here comes the camera folks. Oh gosh, you know, like, oh, hey, Blaine, you know, hey guys, hey, Jonathan. It sort of helps break the ice. You don't feel as nervous because you're friends with them, you're excited to see them, instead of like, oh gosh, I hope they don't show up when I start playing well. I hope they don't show up when I start playing well. Oh crap, they're here.
Yeah.
You know, this means I must be playing well.
Yep.
You know, and then boom, you get 2 bogeys and it's like, please go away. Please go away.
Exactly.
But then at the same time, as a player, you want to brand yourself. You want to be on live coverage. You want the cameras on you. So it's tough trying to find that healthy balance of playing your best and not being nervous when the spotlight is on you. And I'm still working on that. I've been under the spotlight for like 20 years in modeling. I don't know why it isn't easier in disc golf. I guess no one's ever really judged me on my athletic ability before. It's just basically how I look in clothes, which is real easy to change. Like, boop, 2 seconds, fix that real quick, you know, but your athletic ability, man, you can't fix that in a couple of seconds. I'm like on year 9, still out here trying to accomplish big things. So it's cool to see, you know, I finally got a decent, I guess you could say, a podium finish at an elite level event, which I've only done one time before, which was at US Women's, which is a PDGA major in 2018, where I got 2nd place. So
nice. Where was that one held?
Michigan.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was the year Paige won, actually. I think it was her multi-year women's title or something. I remember when she made the last putt, she said kind of in a whisper to herself, finally. So I think it was like she got her 2nd one or her 3rd one or something went on with that. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't remember on that one.
All right. So I'm loving this interview because you're just like providing all of this amazing insight to us that we didn't even have to like ask beyond like getting you started. That's tremendous. And I have I'm sitting here.
I'm a talker.
Yeah, I am too. And people razz me for it all the time. So yes, people are commenting right now live. They're like, Matt is speechless. So I'm like taking it all in because I'm actually sitting here thinking about all the amazing, I don't want to say intricacies, but how you mentioned like modeling and how it's different. And I'm going to go after this show and like think about all this. That's really interesting. But let me ask this question. What do you think it's going to take to see you in a podium finish or a win more often? Because you did it at this NT. You talked about your game is starting to, I don't want to say click, but maybe that's how you described it. Are you going to be able to perform at this level and higher to continue to do that? Do you feel that about your game?
Oh yeah, I've had this ability for years. It's just doing it when people are looking at me. I can do it, and when I'm playing with other people, practice rounds with close friends. You know, I go out, I birdie 12 holes in a row, same with the guys, and they're like, dang, I just realized, Holly, you just birdied all 12 of these holes. I'm like, yeah, I do this every day. This is like a normal thing for me. Nobody else gets to see it though. And it sounds like this funny unicorn myth. I tell people, I shot 1050 golf in the woods this morning. They're like, yeah, Holly with her fishing tails again. Yeah. But really it's been happening. It's just I'm waiting to show it to people. And at Texas State's, I had this new level of calmness. I don't know what it was from. I didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel tight in the chest. I didn't feel, like that throat thing that you might get when you're really nervous on hole one before a big tournament. I still feel all of those butterflies before tournaments, which is good. I think it means I still care. I care a lot. So I don't know why I was more relaxed, but I was. And I think that helped equate to a higher finish. And I think really all I need to do is just make a few more putts. Was just a couple strokes away from Haley. And really, if I look back, it's just a couple missed putts. I can hit the lines. I'm on the green. All I got to do is finish the job. So, and I'm a really good putter. So I don't think it's anything that I can't accomplish. And I hope it happens now. Again, I'm on year 9. Like, bro, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to take home a big win. I get to see my friends do amazing things. I saw Jessica Weiss win the Beaver Fling many years ago. I got to see Kona take home the Waco. And it's just exciting to see these people who are like busting out, getting these big wins. Haley doing the Pro Tour, I really wanted to win that because I play so well at the Nest. So that was cool to see the fellow Wisconsinite grab the 20 grand. And then, when I got done, I couldn't see the scores at Texas State's. I'm not one that watches the scores, and my phone died on hole 13, so I couldn't have seen him even if I wanted to. But when I got done, Rebecca was like, "Hey, nice, Holly, you got second." I was like, "Oh, I did. That's so cool."
Nice.
And then I saw that Haley, I wasn't that far behind Haley, so I went up and shook her hand. I said, congratulations. It's cool to see it come together for you again. And I was hoping that I could win. She's like, I was watching the scores and I saw you creeping up there.
Do you think that took off a little bit of pressure, just not really knowing the scores in a sense? You weren't looking at your phone at all? Do you think that
I've never really been one to look at the scores. I've tried it a few times this year because I thought, okay, let's look at it like this. If anything in life, someone can give you more data to improve better, wouldn't you want that? I feel like UDisc is more data to help you perform better. So I kind of tried to look at it from that perspective. But what I noticed is, this is what happened at Waco. Playing along round 1, Kona's on my card. We're doing okay. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. I'm about 9-10 holes in, and I think to myself, you know what? I'm not sure I've made a lot of mistakes. Maybe I'll look at the scores just for fun. Oh, crap. I'm tied for first with Kona. And then I took a 7.
Oh, no.
And maybe I shouldn't have looked at the scores. So I think it happened to me again at another tournament, maybe Belton or something like that, where I thought, maybe I'll just peek at the scores for a little minute. Boom, took like a triple. So even though I think I'm mentally prepared and I'm ready to view these scores, the results are telling me otherwise. So I'm not looking at the scores anymore right now.
Well, it sounds like to me,
keep letting your phone die by hole 13. You're golden.
Yeah, I was just going to turn it off, like pretend it doesn't work.
It seems like to me you're saying that. And by the way, thank you so much for being so transparent. This is a very transparent interview. It's amazing. You're just like letting it flow.
That's me.
Yeah. Do you feel like, or no, actually, I know you are. You said you were working on it. You set up a camera with a tripod and you're putting or doing those videos on, how to have courtesy. I've seen some of your videos you put out. You're doing some things to try to help you with gain an advantage, meaning that's something that's a struggle for you, seeing maybe scores or thinking about cameras. Is there anything else that you can do besides maybe videoing yourself? Are there things that you are doing?
Yeah, I think I've been toying around with an idea I actually talked about with Juliana Corver, that perhaps I do some Facebook putting live sessions so that, when you record yourself, you're free in your own environment. You can stop it. Nobody's really watching you but you because it's post-edited versus Facebook Live, which is just like a live feed on the course. I can't really edit that. There's no go backs and do-overs.
Do you have a basket
it's
right?
all in the moment.
Do you have a basket right now? I mean, you could just set one up live.
No,
for.
I'm on this.
We've got.
I'm on the side of the interstate.
Oh, that's
bro.
perfect.
Just
We've
pulled
got
over to do
300
this
people.
interview.
We got 300 people live right now. We could just go and get it done and help you out. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
don't. I wish. And it's dark.
Okay,
so that
all
would be
right.
a super challenge.
All right, super
Nighttime
challenge.
putting on the side of the
Nighttime
interstate.
putting on the side of the interstate.
With breezes from semis.
Yeah,
exactly.
No challenge. No challenge.
You've talked about the 9 years of touring. How long you're obviously in a van. You do the tour life through a van now. How has that been going from, let's say, your house in Wisconsin into, now I live in a van?
Can I just interject real quick? I heard Greg Barsby once. Greg Barsby, I swear he made some, he's a funny guy, and I don't know if he saw the inside of your RV or whatever you're driving, but he's like,
yeah.
At some point he alluded to she's driving around this $1 million RV. He thought it was spectacular. Can you tell us about what you're traveling in?
Well, I do enjoy the finer things in life, thanks to my modeling career. So I purchased a Winnebago Era, which is on a Mercedes Sprinter chassis. And it is a very nice pre-built luxury RV. Of course, I shopped for one for several years, and it's kind of like house shopping. You have this idea, you're like, yeah, I'm fine with this. But then when you step foot into the really nice one, you don't want that one anymore. So I just kept waiting it out, saving up a little bit here and there. And then, when all the puzzle pieces came together perfectly, I saw an opportunity to pull the trigger for this Mercedes Winnebago last January. And that's what I did. Yeah, I've done all the touring. I've done it in my BMW Z4, which is a 2-door convertible. I did that for a couple years. I did it in a BMW Mini Cooper. Not a good idea. Those things drive like a box. Gosh, they're rigid. Yeah. I've done it in my X3, which is like a BMW crossover. Mm-hmm. I've done the year where you fly everywhere and get rental cars. I had a touring season where I split with Michael Johansson, and we did half a year in his truck and half a year in my SUV and sometimes a rental car. So this is my, I guess, first and a half season, because we only sort of got a half season last year in the RV van life. And I have to say it's my favorite one of all. I absolutely love it.
That's cool.
I just love the home aspect. I can pull over, whip up some tacos real quick, take a nap, make a fresh cup of coffee, wash my hands, boom, I'm back on the road.
Man.
I mean, I guess technically you could do that in a car if you had all of those things, but it just feels, I don't know, man. I'm just really loving it. I wish I would have done it sooner. I take a very long time to make big life decisions. Like I mentioned, 2-3 years I was shopping for this, and that's just how I am. I do not want to make a mistake in life, and I take way too long to make big decisions, but at least I feel confident and my decisions are well thought out.
You can't knock that. I think you've demonstrated that again. I've watched from afar just as somebody interested in the sport. I think we'd be remiss to not bring up this question because I feel like it's pretty relevant. Is this also a myth, Holly, that you prefer to play in the woods?
Oh, that is not a myth.
Okay.
No. I mean, if you look at my tour for the last several years, I have skipped all the events. I did not attend Vegas for 8 years. I skipped the Dynamic Disc Open, which was previously known as the Glass Blown Open. Mm-hmm. If anyone has ever been to YouTube and seen the video called Wind Putt from the GBO 2013 or 2012, that was the last year I played. It was tornado conditions. A guy does a little putt. The putter flies backwards 200 feet. I was like, I'm never going back to Kansas. Yeah. This is horrible. Well, I went last year, and it actually, again, when you choose the proper equipment, is a lot more fun. So
that's good.
Yeah, but if it was up to me, bro, I would skip all the golf courses, and I would play a woods tour only, the tightest, most difficult wooded tracks. You know, the ones where people say, oh, that's not a fairway, that's a luck way. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Give me all of those.
Nice. There you go. Well, that's cool. And is that just from, that's how you grew up playing disc golf, or in the sense that's when you started playing disc golf, you were just it was in the woods, it was around that?
I mean, I just played in more park style really, but I found that seeing the lines and creating the shapes just came naturally to me. It was very easy. I can easily hit a tight gap. I can throw a disc like perfectly straight, which I think is very hard for many people.
Yeah.
And I guess just the fact that I excelled in an environment that other people find to be very difficult and anxiety ridden also makes it my favorite. Plus it evens out the situation, you know, when you have a situation where you have a bunch of long throwers like Katrina and Paige, and you put us on a ball golf course, and I can just look at the distances over the weekend. You know, if they're all over 600 feet, well shoot, I can guess Paige and Kat are going to beat me by this many strokes just from distances alone. But if you put it in a shot shaping or an accuracy situation, like where the woods come into play, I feel like, you know, the distance doesn't really have that big of an advantage anymore. And it's more about skills of shot shaping and
Yeah.
accuracy and putting at that point.
And you proved that obviously at Texas State and this last tournament. So you can definitely see the confidence of going through these tight wooded courses. A majority of people, especially Matt and I, we grew up in the New England area to where like we feel the same way. I love watching the shape of a disc. I'm obviously impressed by people who can throw the disc over 500, 550 feet and be able to accurately put it. Like it's a great thing. I wish I could do it. Believe me.
I want to do it too.
Yeah, but
My hands up too.
There is a very fun feeling of, you know, you can just lace a mid-range 300 feet down a fairway and like a 10-foot gap. It is a very cool feeling. I'll 100% agree to that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's maybe my game and Holly game's similar. I don't know that I need to compare ourselves here, but you're rated. What are you rated? Do you know what you're rated right now?
I think I'm like 930 or something.
Okay. So Nick, me and her are just about the same person embodied in different ways. I like throwing comets through the woods. I love that style.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that's my game.
Yep.
I just love that playing in the woods. That's because to the same thing you said, I feel like I get it kind of leveled out. I'm like, play me in the woods. Like I can keep up.
Right.
So
catch me in the woods.
Yeah, catch me in the woods.
Exactly. How about that?
So Holly, this has been fantastic. As I said, it's pretty funny for us as interviewers. We had Haley King on, who's her own person, and then we had Ricky, who was just making me laugh hysterically. And then you're very transparent and just very energetic and sharing things that are insightful. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anybody that you'd like to shout out, or how can people support your touring if that's a thing as well?
Yeah, I have a new sponsor this year, pharmacbd.com. They're being really supportive and donating the 30% of the sales proceeds to me if you use code HOLLY, HOLLY. So you can order all sort of CBD products on their website for wellness and sleep aids and stuff like that, as well as my tour series, Innova Champion Glow Mako 3s. They were released. They sold out on Innova, but at a lot of retail stores tell me that they bought some. So another round disc golf, gotta go, gotta throw. Probably going to have a couple hundred available on their website in the next several days. So keep a lookout for those if you didn't get a Holly Finley Glow Champion Mako 3, which never existed until this year.
Until now.
Exactly.
I did not. Cool. I did not get one, but I'm not going to lie. I thought the other night when you posted, you said, "Here they are." I looked. I went on there and I kind of drooled a little bit, and I was like, I kind of want it badly, and I just didn't pull the trigger because I'm trying to be better about what you actually alluded to. Purchasing things, taking my time. I'm trying to get moved to another house, all these things. So like, I'm just like, I probably shouldn't buy it right now, but I want to. So excellent. Go out and buy them, guys. The color glow is what that was, right? Champion glow. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. And
yeah, thank you for pulling over and, you know, taking the time out of your drive to whatever tournament. Are you playing the next one? I think it's Vintage Open or Jonesboro. Are you going to those events?
Nope. You can catch me at Goat Hill in California.
Awesome.
Solid. There we go.
Yeah, I think I saw there's a pretty strong FPO field out there. So good luck out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Innova actually put together some special release discs with special release Goat Hill art. So it's kind of got a caricature feel to it. So if you jump on Innova's Instagram or their Facebook, you can probably find some information on that.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, once again, we do appreciate you taking the time out of your day/night to pull over on the side of an interstate and do this interview with us. It's been a blast. Obviously, it's been a great time.
Yep.
Anytime. It's my pleasure and my honor to be a guest on your show. So thanks for the invite.
Thank you, Holly. We'll have you on again. Have a safe travel. All right.
Drive safe.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers.